Hey guys, Kelly here, and I'm going to attempt to record my October TBR for the second time. My thumbnail, you'll see I was originally outside, but when I finished that and came in and tried to edit it, all I could hear was the wind. It was just a little too windy out, and so the sound was really horrible, so I'm going to re-record it inside. It's kind of sad because it was so pretty outside, but oh well. If you can't hear me, it's pointless. So I wanted to chat with you. I know it's already like October, October 5th. October kind of got like snuck up on me. I didn't really make plans. So then I was thinking this week, what do I want to do in October? What are buddy reads? Because I had planned a few buddy reads a while ago and kind of forgot about them. So like I'm got a couple buddy reads that I need to catch up on. And I just wanted to show you some of the things that I'm thinking about reading this month. So first of all, I wanted to tell you the books that I have already started. I am in the middle of two audiobooks. I have Becoming by Michelle Obama, which is her memoir, and this is one that I had started a while ago because I had waited a long time at the library for it, and then being the procrastinator I am, I let it expire. So then I waited again and got it. So now I have to finish this coming week, or else I will be back to 185th in line for this book. And I think I'm a fourth of the way through, so I can do it. It just, I'm a mood reader, and even though it's good, I just didn't pick it up that first time, but I have to do it this week. And then the other one I am listening to, the fiction one I'm listening to, is This Cruel Design by Emily Suvada, which is the second book after This Mortal Coil. I don't know what the actual series is called. And I had read This Mortal Coil last month. It's a YA, I guess, just apocalyptic kind of book, sci-fi, about a young woman named Kat, whose father had been like this inventor of a vaccine for a plague that has kind of wiped out a good majority of the population, and he has gone missing, and so she has kind of been drawn in to help with this vaccine. And it had a lot of crazy plot stuff going on. It was a fun read. It wasn't necessarily anything like groundbreaking in the characters or whatever, but it was a fun read, so I wanted to keep going on the series since I think the third one's coming out early in 2020. So I was just going to listen to that as a easy, fun, fast audiobook. And then I have an e-book, which is actually an e-arc from Nat Galley, and I need to read that this week. I'm a few chapters in, because I think it comes out on October 7th or something like that, so I will be hopefully reading it this weekend. And then it's called Maternal Instinct by Rebecca Boyer, I believe is the author. I'll put the picture up so you can look at it. And this is a dystopian that takes place, I think, in 2040 and in Australia, and the government of Australia has kind of decided to take over procreation and the way kids are raised. And so they're trying to like make it so that children are the focus and their welfare is taken care of. So they decide who gives birth and then who raises the children. So the birth parents don't raise the children in this like dystopian society. So it sounds pretty interesting, kind of sounds like a mixture of Handmaid's Tale and I don't know what else, but like maybe not as fully depressing as Handmaid's Tale, but more of like a bureaucratic version of that. So it's interesting so far. Hopefully I'll finish it this weekend. And then I have a couple physical books that I am in the middle of reading. I'm just in the middle of like a ton of things right now. I don't know. It's one of those, as a mood reader, every once in a while I get in these times when I'm reading like 10 books because nothing is capturing my attention fully. And that's where I'm at right now. So several books, because I also have a Try a Chapter book that I am reading, which I don't want to show you because that'll spoil the Try the Chapter video that'll be coming out hopefully on Monday if I can finish that book this weekend. But another one I'm in the middle of is How to Stop Losing Your Shit with Your Kids, and by Carla Numberg. And this one I had gotten as an e-arc from NetGalley, but then it got archived before I finished it, and so it already came out in August, so I thought I would pick up the physical copy, and that might be easier to get through it. And this is obviously a parent advice book, and I thought it was really short, and it just seems like one of those that would just like tell it like it is, obviously from the title. So I wanted to give it a chance. I'm at the very beginning. I think I'm only like maybe 15 pages in, so can't tell you what I'm thinking so far. And then I am still towards the beginning of The Great Pursuit by Wendy Higgins. This is the sequel in her Eurona duology, I believe is what it's called. The first book, The Great Hunt, I read a year ago and thought it was a lot of fun. Eliza just woke up, so I'll have to get her in a moment. And it was just a fun, fast kind of romance fantasy book about a beast who's terrorizing this kingdom, and the king, in order to get somebody to kill the beast, gives his daughter, the princess's hand away as the like reward for killing the beast, and this continues after that, so I can't really tell you what it's about, but it's going very fast, and it was like I was in the middle of all these books. I just wanted something that I could devour really quickly, so I've like in the last day already read like maybe this much of the book, so it is definitely going to be finished probably even quicker than some of the other ones. And then I'm doing a Victorian novel this month. It is Victober, and I wasn't going to participate, but then I already had a buddy read of a Victorian novel on my TBR for this month, so I'm kind of loosely participating. And the one I'm reading is The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, and like I said, this was written in like the 1860s or something, and it's supposed to be kind of like a gothic mystery. I am very close to the beginning. I think I'm only 36 pages in. I'm buddy reading this with Tia from Tia and All the Books. She's farther than I because I forgot it was October and started this a little late, but I am loving it so far. The beginning just really pulled me in, and I am enjoying it, so I'm looking forward to getting through that. We're going to take a while to get through it, take our time, since it is kind of older language. And then the other buddy read I'm doing is through Krista from Books and Jams. She does her like monthly Goodreads book club, and this month it was a book that I was really interested in because I have had it on my physical TBR for a while, and that is The Drive by Jane Harper. This is like, I think a crime novel that is a federal agent, and it takes place in Australia, and I've just had this on my radar for a while, really wanted to get to it, so when I saw that she was doing the buddy read, I picked it up. If you want to join, it's a very loose buddy read where she separates it by sections of the book, so if you're behind, you just comment on the ones that you have already read. So I'm going to get to that one. And then I have a few thrillers, because it's October, of course. I have The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. I actually did start this, so maybe it should have been on my like currently reading, but I didn't get very far, and that was like 3 weeks ago I'd started it and kind of put it down, so I'm going to get into this book this month. I think it'll go fast when I finally sit down and actually start reading it because it's short, and people have just been saying it was really good. A lot of people are comparing it in style to it, and the fact that it like takes place in the 1980s, but then also in current times, so the people were following this group of boys both in the 80s and in 2000s. So I think that'll be a fun, fast read when I get to it. And then I have a couple thrillers that were part of my try a chapter tag that I did about thrillers a couple months ago, and there was a few that just really drew me in with the first chapter, and I hadn't gotten to them because September was just a busy month, and so I just didn't pick up any thrillers. I stick to mostly contemporaries in September, so now I'm ready, being October, so I'm going to read Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. And this kind of is about, I think it's supposed to be like a couple looks perfect from the outside, but what is their married life really like? Is it involved with abuse or something weird going on? So the first chapter drew me into that, and it seemed like it'll read fast. And the other one was The Walls by Holly Overton, and the first chapter of this was really good. I really wanted to pick it up in September, but like I said, September just got really focused on more like cutesy contemporary type things, so I just didn't pick up thrillers, but I'm definitely excited to read this one because I think it's going to be really good. And then I got a thriller from the library I want to read, which is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I've only read one Ruth Ware, and I really didn't like it. It was In a Dark, Dark Woods. I hated that book, but I've heard her writing gets better as it goes, so I wanted to give one of her more current novels a try, and I've heard this one has that very gothic mystery feel, so I'm excited to try this. And if I don't like this one, then maybe Ruth Ware is not the one for me, because this is one that I've heard is really good. Another thing I've been wanting to do, since we're getting towards the end of the year, is I had all these series I really want to finish in 2019 because I have a habit of not finishing series. And if I showed you all the ones that I really want to read this month, it would be ridiculous, so I just wanted to focus on two. So I already showed you The Great Pursuit, which would finish a duology, and you know I'm listening to this Cruel Design. So the only other one that I'm going to like commit to reading this month is God's Grave by Jay Kristoff, and this is the second to Nevernight. And the reason I wanted to do this one is because the writing style of these books is so like intense. I want to read it before I kind of forget how that goes, because I think if I put a lot of time between these books that I'm going to get out of that writing style and not be able to get back into it. And also the characters are fresh enough in my mind. The third book just came out, so why not just finish up this series while it's still like in there in the brain. So hopefully I will get to this month and then get Dark Dawn done before the end of the year. So those are the books that I for sure want to read this month. Like, you know, I would like to get as many of those done as possible. But then I also have a stack of books that I got from the library that, you know, since I have them from the library, I might end up reading them, but I don't think I'm going to read them all. What it was I got a bunch of like romances, like kind of contemporary romances for the Contemporary-a-thon. These are ones that I didn't end up reading because I was purely mood reading. But since I have them and they're all 2019 releases, I feel like I might pick up a few of them. So I'm going to just run through the titles real quick, and you can let me know if there's some that you really want me to get to, or I'll just basically mood read. And some of these are not all romances. I was just, because the first one I picked up is a romance, but it's a really emotional one. And then it's Birthday by Meredith Russo. I believe this is a romance that slowly develops between two people that have known each other for most of their lives, and one is a trans character, but I've heard this is very emotional, so that's why I haven't picked it up yet, but maybe I'll get in a frame of mind to pick it up because I've heard it's really good. I have The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary, which is supposed to be just a really cute British romance about two people that are sharing the same house, but they've never met each other. Like, one lives there in the day and the other one lives there at night, and I've just heard good things about that one. I have Call It What You Want by Bridget Kimmerer. This is her new contemporary. I just read one of her contemporaries for Contemporary-a-thon, loved it, gave it 5 stars, so I'm excited. I think I could read this like in one day like all of her other contemporaries, so I probably will pick this one up this month. And then I have If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. This is a married couple that writes YA contemporary that involves some kind of Shakespeare element, and I believe this is a retelling of Taming of the Shrew, which sounds like a lot of fun. I have Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali, and I've heard this has a lot of diversity. Both of our teens are Muslim. I believe part of this takes place in Qatar. I think that the male character also has maybe he has MS or something like that. So I just feel like this is going to be a really good, hard-hitting kind of contemporary. I've heard great things about it. I have I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver, and I believe from what I remember that this is about a main character who is gender fluid. So this is another LGBT plus book that I had wanted to get to back in Pride Month and didn't, so hopefully I will this month. And then my last two are adult contemporary romance. I have Well Met by Jen DeLuca, and it takes place as a Renaissance fair. I've been hearing so many good things about this being cute, and it really is drawing me in with this cover because I love this color, so this might be one I pick up soon. And then the last one is Red, White, and Royal Blue, which this is a queer romance between the president's son and the Prince of Wales, and I've heard that it is a lot of fun. Everybody's raving about it. I waited at the library for this for months, so I think it was months. It was probably at least like 2 months. So I really should pick this up. So those are the ones that I got from Books Are Falling. So those are the pile of ones I got from the library. Like I said, if there's ones that you think that I should pick up before they are due back, let me know. I will hopefully at least get a few of those read this month. My library has done this thing where it's not charging fines and giving like automatic renews, so I could end up having these books for like 2 months. So I might not have to turn them in before the end of October, meaning I could get to all of them. So that's it. Let me know if you are excited for any of these books to hear about, or what you're excited to read this month, especially if you're reading any Victorian literature for Victober. Now that I'm really loving The Woman in White, I'm like kind of in this like mood to read more Victorian literature. So we'll see if that ends up happening over the winter. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.